Right, there we go. Hi there, chaps. Well, as you know, it's Dan here from MANUP, and I've invited this guy called Tom into a video because we have connections, friends on LinkedIn, and I like what he talks about, and that is burnouts. And the reason I wanted to talk to him is because he explains it really well. And I think he's also well aware that most people who are burning out don't have a clue about it until they're burnt out. So, Tom, tell us quickly about yourself.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for having me on, buddy. So I'm from Australia, but I live in the UK now. I suppose I don't like the term, bit of a wanky term, but I own multiple businesses, so I suppose I am a bit of an entrepreneur. 2018, I had businesses in the UK and businesses in Oz. It was relentless. I was doing too much. Had 2 ECGs over a period of 12 months because I was passing out. I was vomiting, dry vomiting, just dizzy spells all the time. Doctors couldn't find anything, but essentially they just said, mate, you just got to slow down. So I was lucky to probably get through that. So I just had to shut down one of my companies and take some time off. And essentially that was burnout. So I think looking back, I'd had that a few times, but that was the big one. And so, but then off the back of that, then it's like, well, what do you do with your time? You know, when you're forced to take time off. I was 42 years old, and that's when the depression kicked in, and it was relentless, mate. Lost my purpose. Just really didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So you got to be careful what you wish for, because I'd always aimed to retire quite early, and it was kind of thrust upon me, and wasn't a nice experience. So now what I do is I still have businesses in Australia, and I still have those running for me, people with invested interest running it. But I'm fortunate. I mean, I've worked hard for it, but I'm fortunate to be in a position where I can now spend my time helping other people achieve success, but do it in a sustainable way.
Yeah.
And essentially avoid burnout.
Yeah. So what's your definition of burnout?
Overwhelm, essentially.
Yep.
You know, we do too much. Usually we're trying to do too much. We're trying to either achieve too much. And it's essentially our body not coping with the amount of stress that we're putting ourselves under.
Yeah, because it's funny actually, because I went to the doctors not that long ago. Actually, he says he was a mental health campaigner, but I started doing that whole gagging thing, thinking I'm being sick, like literally like retching for no reason whatsoever, and went to the doctors thinking I've got like throat cancer, or it's like something's really, really wrong with me. And they're like, you're stressed out.
Yeah,
yeah, so it's funny because I thought he was lying. I honestly thought it was just, so to hear that from somebody else, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he wasn't talking out of his arse. So how did you get out of your hole?
Well, I just took some time off, and I tried to do things. I've said it many times that, you know, there's only so many bloody games of golf you can play. Yeah. And just literally just had to rediscover what I wanted to do in life. I'd always, through my 20s and 30s, I'd always thought that actually not working was, you know, an ideal lifestyle. You know, work to retire, build up, you know, I suppose a passive income to be able to retire. But you got to be careful what you wish for, because it doesn't make you happy. And I had the big house and the cars and the swimming pool and tennis court and all that, and I was extremely depressed. And I was always chasing. I was always living a life saying, I will be happy when. Hence, when you're not enjoying the journey and finding joy and daily fulfillment, and you're always thinking that, and the next thing will make you happy, it's relentless. It's a never-ending journey to unhappiness. So for me, how did I get myself out of it? I just literally just had to dig deep and understand what it was that was going to make me happy on a daily basis. And largely it was finding work again, and finding work that I truly wanted to do. Yeah. And that gives me daily fulfillment.
Yeah, because that's what you specialize in now, isn't it? Is helping others with burnout and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah. Burnout's a big part of it. It's about helping people. Like, I think a lot of people want success. They want certain material possessions. They want, you know, certain lifestyle. But they don't really know how to enjoy the journey. So if you say you know, let's say you want to retire at a certain age, or you want to earn a certain amount, or, you know, you're setting yourself a target of something. Yeah. If you don't enjoy the journey, and then when you get there, you're not any happier. So
Yeah.
whatever it is you were striving for doesn't make you happy. What a shit situation.
Yeah.
So my purpose now is helping people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve, understand why, so make sure that their purpose is right. So make sure that actually what they're wanting to do is for the right reasons, but then doing it in a sustainable way. So have a better relationship with stress. So burnout for a lot of people is do less, or to avoid burnout. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to do less. I've got to work less. I've got to chill out more, but you don't. You just got to understand what your optimum level of performance is. And if you want to push that, then you've got to actually treat your body better.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, athletes only train 2 or 3 hours a day, and they have an off season and a pre-season. We don't, yet we expect ourselves to work 10 hours a day. Do we treat our bodies as well as an athlete? No, we don't.
Yeah.
So largely we burn out because sorry, mate.
No, I was going to say it's the same as our mind as well, isn't it? It's just, yeah, absolutely. It's just, yeah, it's when people say, "Oh, just switch off." Well, actually, what are you switching off from?
Yeah.
I'd say, for example, me is I'm lucky enough where I go, do you know what, I'm going to have a couple of days off and I can let the wife run the business for me or do all the emails, just give me a couple of things. But actually, if I'm sitting there at home on social media getting really pissed off because Tom's having a go at this person for not wearing a face mask, and it's really like causing me anxiety and stressing me out, actually, me thinking I'm having time off from work, actually, I'm having time off from the wrong thing. Yeah. Have I made sense, or have I just confused you?
No, you have, mate. You have. You're right. And today, to try and switch off today, for a lot of people, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because no matter where we look, there's distractions and reminders of who we want to be, who we compare ourselves to, whether it be on social media, whether it be the bloke down the road, you know, drives a nicer car than us, has a 6-pack, or, you know, slimmer waistline, more hair, whatever it is. You know, us blokes, typically, we continually compare ourselves unfairly to other people. Yeah. And we might not verbalize that, but we do in our own heads.
Yeah.
And our ego is, it's all over the place.
Do you reckon that's down to the individual, or do you reckon that's down to the people around them?
Both.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. So, and I was asked this by somebody else. I was talking about earlier on. I said, I'm speaking to a guy about burnout, and he asked me a question, and I said yes, but I think we're in dangerous grounds where burning out, especially in the business world, is becoming a fashion statement.
Oh yeah.
And I think it actually undermines what real burnout. I don't want to, like, my burnout is completely different to like you could probably last a lot longer of. I don't know. I was going to, like, you would take a lot longer to burn out doing something what would take me 5 minutes, or the other way around. I don't want to undermine people who are going through it, but I do think the term burnout is becoming really trending. I think it's such a dangerous thing.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm so pleased you said that, because I saw a post on LinkedIn the other day, someone bragging about the fact that they start at 8 a.m. and they finish at 2 a.m. or something. Yeah. And I looked at that, and before I commented, in fact, I'm not sure I did comment because I just got really upset with it. But
best not to sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. I looked at the comments. Like, quite often when you see something that like really strikes you and brings out your emotions, I like to sort of, okay, let's not react. Let's try and look at things as for what they are. And I read the comments, and I was really shocked. It made me feel even worse that there was a lot of people agreeing and bragging and saying it's the hustle and it's this, and it's, I think the sad thing is I think a lot of those people are bullshitting.
Yeah. I
think they're pretending to be something they're not.
Yeah.
And so that's really sad, because they're saying stuff, but they're actually not living that. And they're influencing other people to think that's good, and that's okay, that's cool, when actually there is nothing wrong in searching for life balance. And that's a big part of what I help people with now, is understanding because life balance, first of all, people say work-life balance. Now, for me, I don't like to use that term, because that basically says the fun only starts when work finishes.
Yep.
You know, and life and work
that's you said that in the video before, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I have said it before, definitely.
finish that one. So I was just like, there was one video like, well, I'm going to contact this guy. Now he'll be great. He'll be great for MANUP. I don't know what I'm pointing. Sorry, but it's just he'll be
I do
great.
it too.
Yeah, no,
So I do it. It's
I was
great.
getting real passionate about it. But no, that was
yeah.
Finish with Sunday, because the way you said that, I was like, I've never thought about it. Look, how did you say that again?
So work-life balance, I say life balance, because work-life balance basically says that work is different to life, when actually life is a big part of life. And it sort of says that the fun only starts when work ends.
Yeah.
But actually, as I found the hard way, that we get fulfillment and joy and purpose largely out of the work that we do.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying that, once you find purpose or meaningful work, you'll never work another day. It sounds a bit wanky, but actually it's not too far from the truth.
Yeah.
And the statistics are against us, because 85% of people are not engaged at work. So essentially they don't really enjoy what they do. They're just doing it to pay the bills. So, that's a really sad statistic.
Yeah.
And if we can really take the time, like last year, 2020 was a great time to reassess your values, reassess your purpose. What am I doing this for? Why am I doing it? All of that wasn't probably a great time to try to make a career change, because, we were going through a recession. We still are, but it's a good time to be thinking about that. So life balance is all about finding, it's not necessarily how much time can I not work and how much time, do I have to work? And it's more about, well, actually, how can I enjoy work more? And how can I actually find fulfillment through what I do?
Yeah, absolutely. So before we wind down then, because this call's flying, we've been going about 15 minutes, haven't we already?
Sorry, mate.
No, it's fine. I like these things. But the main thing is, so you've run a few businesses. You've had did you say tennis courts? Did you say that?
I did, mate. Yeah.
So you've had all of that. And so you've had a life, up to a point some people could dream about. What was your tipping point where you're like, what makes you happy? Because if you had burnout, a lot of that probably didn't. I don't want to depress you, so I apologize. But what was the bit where you're just like, no, this is what makes you happy now?
What makes me happy now is basically helping others, essentially. So working with people I connect with.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful about who I work with, and there's an ingredient that person has to have. They have to be committed to making change in their life.
Yeah.
A lot of people want change, but they don't want to work for it. They don't want to match the sacrifice and commitment to actually achieving change.
Yeah.
And when we think about it, the toughest things in life are what give us the most joy. Like, how many times have we done something we don't really want to do or don't think we can do, and afterwards that feeling's like, that's living.
Yeah.
So that's what I love to do nowadays. But look, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have the 6-bedroom house and the fast cars and the tennis court and swimming pool and all of that stuff that I had. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I've kind of had a negative association with that because of the deep sadness and unhappiness I had chasing that.
Yeah.
But I've learned to understand that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I would probably want to have that again, but this time around, I'll want it for the right reasons, because I'll understand it's not that that's going to make me happy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't be happy in that scenario.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Total sense. Absolutely that. Yeah. So I don't think you answered the question, what actually makes you happy?
Well, yeah, I did. It's really helping other people. It's really helping other people.
You did. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, you did.
Helping other people achieve success.
Yeah.
In a sustainable way, so they actually enjoy what they're doing. You know what I mean? So, because if you get to, like I said, if you get to the end and it doesn't make you happy, and what you were striving for doesn't actually make you happy, you're in trouble. But at least if you're enjoying the journey and you find that that's not going to make you happy, you can still tweak it.
Yeah.
But it's about finding that happiness on a daily basis.
Yeah. I'd agree with you, because especially with my main business, which is marketing, I've dealt with some big major household brands, and actually I can count on both hands on how many times the directors have gone completely doolally.
Yeah. And
they've lost everything. Like 300 jobs have gone overnight, and the thing is like, it's like you still speak to people who have links. It's like when you deal with directors, every director knows other directors. And it was just like, oh yeah, it's been losing the plot for a few months. I was like, why has no one gone, you all right?
Yeah.
And it's so weird where people they're quite happy just to watch people fall.
Yeah, 100%.
It's-
Mate, I just want to say before we finish,
Yeah.
I love what you do. Thank you so much for having me chat to you today.
Thank you.
But just on burnout, you've just reminded me of something that I wanted to say. If the point of understanding burnout isn't just about to protect yourself from burnout, it's to understand what the people around you are going through as well. So if you start to see that your colleagues or your mates or your boss is showing signs of being a little bit disgruntled, short-tempered, not enjoying the work they do, that's a good sign that they're burning out.
Yeah.
Because burnout can draw a negative association with the work you're doing, because you kind of start to feel cynical. So if someone's a pain in the ass, don't judge them. Don't presume they're a pain in the ass for any other reason than they could just be burning out.
Yeah, I think that's a good ending to this video. So thank you very much. I'll do the whole taggy thing anyway. I appreciate that. Let me just hit that